Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. My name is Joe and I'm here at a blustery Old Trafford this morning to bring you the news. And first of all, we're going to be talking about one hell of a story this morning. This is the idea, and I'm laughing because, wait till you hear it, Manchester United are trying to sign, wait for it, Lionel Messi. Well, okay, right. So, we're trying to sign Lionel Messi. Don't laugh because we're good at signing players and we'll be able to get him. It looks as though he wants to leave Barcelona. Every club who's got about 50 grand in the bank are trying to sign him because it might be on a free. There's a lot to unpack with this story. So, it looks as though with the introduction of Koeman at Barcelona, their sort of president, no one likes him. But Messi's sort of gone, you know what, I've had enough of this. Koeman's come in and said, you're not going to get any preferential treatment at Barcelona anymore. And Messi's gone, all right then, see you later. And then Koeman's gone, all right, see you later. So he's handed in a transfer request. There was some sort of agreement in Messi's contract that seemed to suggest that he could get a free transfer each summer, depending on whether he chose to leave. Now, according to rumours and according to reports, that contract clause, whatever you want to call it, runs out in June every year. So obviously that has passed. There seems to be some sort of agreement potentially that Barcelona would let any potential deal for Messi happen on a free anyway, as part of a sort of gentleman's agreement between Messi, who's obviously the club record the club record goal scorer, the biggest club legend of all time. So there does seem to be some suggestion that he could be leaving on a free. Now, it's usually apparently June the 10th that this clause usually runs out in Messi's contract that says he can leave to another club for free. But Messi seems to be under the impression that because the season has been extended, because of course coronavirus has affected the way that everyone's contracts and everyone's employment seems to be working in football at the moment, he seems to think that there should be a case for him to leave Barcelona on a free. Again, he's handed in a transfer request, and this is according to Deportes Cuatro. You've heard of them, haven't you? Manchester United have started an approach for the signing of Lionel Messi. That means that United have asked Barcelona or have spoken to the representatives of Lionel Messi. Have we done that? I don't know. It seems very unlikely, doesn't it? It seems very unlikely that a player who is earning roughly about €1 million a week currently would be joining Manchester United. He's 33 years old. Some people on Twitter online talking about how, well, he's 33, it's a bit old, isn't it? Yeah, if only he wasn't the best player ever to play football, he might be a bit shit by now. It's interesting. United seem to be after him. United seem to be talking maybe to his representatives. It's one of those where I bet every single club, like I said, who has got a decent amount of money in the bank, who has got any sort of wage budget, has had a word with his agent, with his representatives, trying to scout a little bit about where he fancies a move. Now, there has been some relatively reliable sources through the night claiming that he has chosen to join Manchester City. Of course, there's a lot to be worked out there because haven't they just been handed a £10 million fine for sort of avoiding showing their finances? Obviously, there are things that they would need to work around there, maybe in a way that Manchester United wouldn't, to be able to sign Lionel Messi. Take this all with a pinch of salt. Every single club and your nan are going to be linked with Lionel Messi in the next few weeks, assuming that, you know, he does leave Barcelona. Again, there were talks last night over at Barcelona with the president, claims that he'd retired, claims that he'd been sacked, then claims that he wasn't allowed to retire because the rest of the board of directors had to pay any sort of lost profits or lost money that Barcelona would sort of endure based on the sacking or the losing of Lionel Messi, and therefore would go bankrupt themselves, so they can't let him leave. Oh, it's very crazy. So it's a situation that's going to be flammable, to say the least, in many different directions. Don't be surprised to see him stay at Barcelona. Don't be surprised to see him touted around all of Europe. You do wonder if United are actually in for him. There's a difference, obviously, between United making a bit of interest and saying, you know what, there's rumours that he wants to leave. What would it take to get him to Manchester United? I don't doubt something like that may have happened, to be honest. The chances of us signing him are, of course, going to be very slim because he's coming from Barcelona. We've heard rumours of a similar type to this over the last few years, where it seems as though Messi wants to leave and then, lo and behold, he signs a new contract or he stays another year, and with even more sort of privileges over at Barcelona. So don't be surprised to see him stay. Don't be surprised to see him join Man City, which would be absolutely horrific. But also, don't be surprised to see this one drag on a little bit as well, because if United are interested, which I wouldn't doubt that they might be, when the best player of all time becomes available for a transfer, I think, you know, you throw your hat in the ring for that one, don't you? So keep an eye on this one, and of course we'll be bringing you all the updates on Stretford Paddock. Let me know in the comments whether you think, first of all, United should be trying to get Lionel Messi, and second of all, whether you think we will get him. I think there may be two different sorts of responses to those different questions there, but let me know both of those in the comments below. Next up then in this is Harry Maguire, who, as I'm sure you all saw yesterday, has been convicted over in a Greek court of aggravated assault, resisting arrest, and repeated attempts of bribery. He was of course arrested in Greece over the weekend for seemingly getting into a fight, which then turned into some sort of Albanian drug scandal, and then it you know, potential, who knows what was going on. We'll get into the details of that in a moment, but yeah, he's been convicted and will serve a 21-month suspended prison sentence, which means he won't go to prison. Basically, will presumably have to pay a big fine to the Greek authorities and will be sent on his way due to it being his first crime and only being classed as misdemeanors. So luckily for him, obviously no jail time. He was called up for the England squad before that. He was then taken out of the England squad. Gareth Southgate basically came out and said, I've spoke to him, he seems pretty innocent to me, put him in the England squad. Then he said again, oh actually he's not innocent, so he can't be. There's been a lot of controversy around this one. Obviously anyone who's read into this story, the reports that Harry Maguire's sister was injected in the neck with some substance, then immediately passed out, then was taken, trying to be taken to a hospital, but instead the van driver took them to the police station, which I don't know whether that was a miscommunication, whether that was some sort of, you know, strange situation going on there. There was also reports that there was plainclothes police officers trying to get them out of the van, which maybe is why they took them to the police station instead, because I don't really know. There's a lot of conjecture and obviously a lot of stories that either aren't true or being told slightly differently, because the police and Harry Maguire's teams both have wilder different stories, and on this occasion the police story has been believed. So there is going to be an appeal from Harry Maguire's team based largely on the fact that the official charges were only given to Harry Maguire's defence around 2 hours before the court case started, which, I mean, 2 hours isn't enough to do anything, is it really? Let's be honest. So they didn't really feel like they had time to gather themselves a full defence, to fully understand the charges that were being faced by Harry Maguire, and therefore weren't equipped to deal with the case at hand. So it's a very strange situation. It's sort of been rushed through. Apparently it's slightly more commonplace in Greece to see these sorts of court cases only take place within a day. But I think the thing that everyone seems to sort of raise an eyebrow at is the fact, not how long the court case itself took, but how quickly we went from he's been in a fight and we are now having a court case. It was about 2 days later that we saw this court case being put in front of you know, a Greek judge, which it seemed to everyone involved and everyone watching from the sidelines to be a slightly strange scenario that, you know, sort of kangaroo court reminiscent kind of, let's get him through very quickly, give him his sentence, get some money off him, send him on his way. So there will be an appeal there. We'll see, I'm sure, a more drawn out, longer court case the next time round, whenever that may be. But yeah, like I said, he has been since dropped from the England squad, and also there's been loads of clamour now for him to lose the captaincy at Man United. Let me know whether you think he should in the comments below. United did release a statement that basically said, we've seen what happened with Harry Maguire, he's looking to appeal based on the fact they didn't have much time with the court case. There was no rash reaction, there was no quick stripping of any captaincy by Manchester United, so it looks as though United kind of taking their time with this one, seeing how things go, seeing how public opinion goes on this one, rather than just snapping into any decision, and no official decision on that captaincy has been made, or at least released to the public yet, so we're going to have to wait for that one. Again, let me know what you think. He has now been convicted of these 3 charges, as were his brother and his friend, all 3 of them convicted together. Do you think that, you know, this isn't the sort of character we want as the captain at Man United, or do you look back at the years of Roy Keane, of other captains at Manchester United who have had similar legal troubles? Let me know what you think. It's a very, very difficult situation, this, because obviously you don't want the idea that you've got a criminal, someone who's willing to go out fighting all the time as your captain, but on the other hand it seems to be out of character. There are a lot of character sort of witnesses and people on Twitter who played with Harry Maguire, who know Harry Maguire, who say he isn't the sort of bloke to go out smacking coppers and then saying gives a quid, or I'll give you a quid and let me go. So we'll have to see exactly the situation on this one. Again, I'm sure this will be dealt with internally and we will hear information on that afterwards. And finally then, Mason Greenwood has been called up to the England first team for the very first time for the upcoming UEFA Nations League games against Iceland and Denmark. Gareth Southgate has spoken about Mason being picked in a question about Jack Grealish, and he said, with Jack Grealish, the simple answer is Mason Greenwood. He's competing, in my view, against Greenwood, Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho and Raheem Sterling. I know Villa have played him as an 8, but I see him in that role for us. He's also played, of course, on the right-hand side or on the left-hand side a lot for Villa as well. He plays out wide predominantly, as well as being able to play as a number 10. He can also play with the number 10, but we haven't played with a number 10. Also, some of those other players I've talked about do very well as 10s as well. He's a talent, there's no doubt about that, but I think Mason Greenwood's performances, his goal-scoring ability and his maturity was impossible to leave out. So great news for Mason Greenwood. Of course, these games coming up very soon, which is weird because we're having an international break before the season started, which, I mean, nothing surprises me anymore this year, but, you know, it's a very exciting time. We're going to get to see Mason Greenwood playing for England, if you even care about England. I know not everyone does, but I think for him it's a good achievement, and it's a sign, of course, of his progression as much as anything. Even if you don't want to see Mason Greenwood playing an England shirt, the fact that he's getting called up for England is just a testament to how good a season he's had this year. So let me know in the comments below whether you're looking forward to see Mason Greenwood in an England shirt, whether you think maybe he needs a rest, because we came up with a startling statistic the other day at Stretford Paddock that he's actually played the second most appearances for Manchester United this season, only behind Harry Maguire, which is quite stunning. Obviously, his minutes aren't quite as high as some of those other players in there, but the fact that he's, you know, been in as many games as everyone except Harry Maguire, very surprising for a man of his age, but it just goes to show his talent, and it goes to show how much United rely on him, especially sort of toward the close of the season. So congratulations to Mason Greenwood. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. We're going to be back this afternoon for a top 10 Academy graduates video with Stephen Howson, looking through all of the Academy graduates that have ever come through at Manchester United and ranking our top 10. So make sure you check that out. Get your comments below in for that as well if you think we've missed anyone out. And again, let me know what you think to this story of Messi to Manchester United, of Harry Maguire, of course, being dropped from the England squad and being convicted of 3 charges over in Greece, and again of Mason Greenwood being called up to England for the very first time. Thank you very much for joining me. See you in a bit.